OPEC making some big moves over the weekend with a larger than expected production hike for August, adding more oil to an already well-supplied market. But there's another factor that could have a bigger impact on crude prices. Brian Sullivan joins us now. Brian, what are those?
Yeah, I think both things that could impact crude prices, Mike, begin with the letter T. I'm going to get to them in just 1 second. Here's the news. Over the weekend, OPEC's supposed to meet on yesterday. On Sunday, they moved the meeting up to Saturday. Lasted a rumored 10 minutes, which means they're all aligned. It was kind of an OPEC group of 8. They surprised the market a bit by adding 548,000 barrels of oil a day to the market. They were supposed to add, not supposed to, but they were expected to add 411,000 barrels a day. Remember, they're unwinding all the COVID impact-related cuts. Now, OPEC math can be complex and hard, but here's the reality, guys. OPEC Plus and this group of 8 has now added about 1.9 million barrels a day back to the market. That is a market, by the way, that is well supplied. But here are the two T's. One is Trump. One is tariffs. Obviously, that July 9th deadline that we had, that's on Wednesday. That is the same day as a big OPEC seminar, basically a 2-day conference, kicks off in Vienna, Austria. We will, by the way, be there. Now, if those tariffs kick in, I don't need to remind you, Mike, what happened to the price of oil and oil stocks. Okay, let's take a look at it. When the tariffs were hit in early April and larger than expected, oil nosedived. It fell 20%. It's come back a little bit. Oil stocks took the same hit, guys. Look at that. Boom. Down. They've rebounded. The question is, if for some reason we get these tariffs that are put back on, I just heard all the acronyms, tapas, taco, whatever. If the tariffs are put back on, does that send oil and oil stocks back down 45, 50 bucks a barrel?
I mean, so do we think that reaction, first of all, all the markets seem to have a pretty spooked reaction to the maximum tariff levels in April. Do we think that a similar reaction would be just because all of a sudden people have to reprice global growth, or are there other factors involved that, that would seem like it would add another kick to the oil price?
There are many other factors, not the least of which is China. We're going to talk more about China later on this week from the OPEC seminar, because there's been a lot of chatter, Mike, as you know. What happens with China leadership? Does Xi Jinping maybe get replaced with somebody who's a little bit more pro-growth? If we see China start to come back to the world stage when it comes to their economic growth, then maybe you have a little more demand. But here's what's interesting right now. OPEC is adding more barrels to a market that is, I don't want to say uneasy, but is certainly paying attention to the potential tariffs. So while, yes, the price of oil is not moving a lot right now, if we get a combination of tariffs, maybe even on a region, a Europe or some kind of major oil-using area, and the combination of more oil on the market from OPEC and its allies, could that then send prices down? UBS this morning saying that the price risk is to the downside. Energy, not what it was for the S&P, Mike. I get it, small percentage, but it's still hundreds of billions of dollars a day in investments.
Meantime, Brian, it's not like geopolitical instability has gone away. We do have the Houthi rebels on the tape claiming the attack on this bulk carrier, which is now sinking in the Red Sea. How much does that count for the price?
It counts a lot, but not yet. You're exactly right, Carl. The idea that this is something people are watching. There was some chatter out there that, is Iran going to do something to the Strait of Hormuz? I want to reiterate, it has never, ever been closed. Ever. It has never been closed. There's been mines. There's been missiles fired. Now, the Red Sea, while important, is not the Strait of Hormuz or the Persian Gulf, Carl. If there were to be something like that occurs, certainly could happen. Here's the thing, and I'll leave you with this. We're going to be in Austria later this week at the OPEC seminar. Who's the president of OPEC this year? Iran. The Iranians should be there. Russia should be there. Saudi Arabia should be there. We'll be there.